So between kindred spirits, between kids, between keep, and between keys, and we're going to build a kingdom. Kindness. When it comes to your money, man, you gotta be kind. Like, I'm not talking about with your money. I talked about that already, right? You have to be a good person. See, the universe rewards individuals who give off good energy. And a lot of times we wonder why things aren't flowing our way, right? We wonder why we don't have abundance. We wonder why money doesn't flow our way. We wonder why things aren't happening the way we want it to happen. And what it boils down to, I'm not gonna get too deep here, is everything is energy. And once you understand that everything is protons, neutrons, and electrons, even your thoughts are protons, neutrons, and electrons, because what you think about, you actually bring about. And energy looks for other forms of energy that fit its frequency. So if you're not a kind person and you trying to make money at the same time, even if you make money, you're going to blow it or be a miserable person, because money only makes you more of what you are. So if K is kindness, you want to have excellent kinetic energy so that when you start to emit and vibrate certain frequencies, you can attract people in your life. I've seen this happen to me time and time again. When I was broke, busted, and disgusted, I looked around in my circle. And because your environment determines what you think, because your environment is the breeding ground from which all thoughts are formulated, right? If your environment is the breeding ground from which all thoughts are formulated, then what you need to do is plant some new knowledge into that mind of yours to bring you these protons, neutrons, and electrons, which will change the environment that you're in, and then that starts to multiply. See, the name of the game for the next 26 days, we talked about Jay yesterday, journaling, is for you to get a journal and drop all this knowledge in and continue to repeat that knowledge. Here's why. When you start thinking different, you're going to emit a different energy. And when you start emitting a different energy and frequency in your journal, then you start to attract the energy and frequency that can change your thought process. Then people, things, and places, and events, and seminars, and online courses, and mentors, they start to show up, because you know what? They were looking for the exact same thing. In other words, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But if you negative, and you broke because you're negative, but you don't realize you think you negative. You think you broke because you're negative, but you're really negative because you broke. That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The minute I decided to become a better person, a kinder person, relieve myself of all the guilt I was having as it relates to money. The minute I started sharing my experiences and not being afraid of the fact that I lost my first $1 million in my 20s. And I was ashamed of the fact that I blew through my money. And I wasn't even frivolous. I just got audited. And I didn't understand why I was having a hard time recovering. The minute I started to share my story in my 30s, I got it all back. Because people needed to hear that someone like myself at 19 can retire at 22, earn 7 figures, because you got people that have never made 7 figures in their life, lose 7 figures, get it all back, and now I'm kind and generous enough to let everybody in my world and watch me. I let everybody in my world and they watch me through that struggle. Which brings me to another K. I'm going off top of the head. I'm reading these comments. I see your Ks. Kindred. I had to develop a kindred spirit. Great word. Great word. I had to develop a kindred spirit. When you do that, you start walking into rooms and your aura alone can change the energy and environment in the area. When you leave an area or a room, are you leaving people better off, or do they feel better than they did before you got in the room? See, now when I hit the stages now, people play music. I got lights on. I got the DJ bringing me up. I got a young lady saying great things and the crowd clapping. But the old Brian that didn't have that kindred spirit, the only music they were playing for me back then was the blues. So I changed the trajectory of my life because I had to develop this kindred spirit. And let me tell you why I'm so talk freely about this because I want you to keep your money. I want you to keep your money. See, don't be like me and get audited. All my fellow entrepreneurs out there, keep excellent records so you can keep your money. Brian, what do you mean? Okay, well, think about it. There's a big difference between a business and a hobby. The problem with us business owners is that we focus on two sides of our business. We focus on operations and the two sides of a business, we only focus on one. We focus on operations, but we don't focus on finance. In other words, who are we going to hire? Who are we going to fire? What tools do we need? What do we need to streamline? What videos do we need? What camera do we need? What systems do we need? But we never focus on finances. So I was so focused on operations in my 20s, I never focused on my finances, so I didn't keep my receipts. So when I made all this money and the IRS said, okay, prove to us that your business is a business and not a hobby, I got knocked off my ass. I got knocked out. Knock-K-N-O-C-K. I got knocked out by the IRS. So when they come after you for back taxes, Brian, we need to see 2007. We need to see 2009. We need to see 2012. We need to see 2014. We need to see, and it's like a sweater. Once they snag you and they start pulling, I was just sitting there naked. Like, what? So then I had to pay all the back taxes. When I rebounded, I had to stay current on my current taxes. And so I wouldn't get in trouble again. I had to pay all my future taxes all at the same time. I got knocked on my ass. How about that for a K? Because I didn't keep good records. The only way to show the federal government when you start making a ton of money is that your business is a business and not a hobby, is that you keep excellent records. Now, back in the day, we didn't have little apps where you could take a picture of the receipt and just upload it to the cloud, and then your CPA go in and download the cloud, and all your records are there. We had manila folders and envelopes and faded receipts. So the IRS was like, you said you spent $10,000 on this conference. It looked like $1,000 to me. I'm like, nah, see the zero in the end. If you add a comma, that's $10,000. So y'all got to take $10,000 off my, well, no, Mr. Beane, we don't know if that's 1,000 or 10,000. The receipt kind of faded. Knocked me off my butt. The only difference between a business and a hobby is your ability to keep records. Entrepreneurs, business owners, I don't care what you do. Take a picture of your receipts and upload them into the cloud. Use these apps that track your miles. Had I had all my records straight and kept good record keeping would have kept me out of trouble, and I would have kept more of my money. So I'm going to keep telling you that until it goes into your head. It takes 5 minutes. Look, you can upload a picture to Facebook. You can upload, Christopher said, I know about that. You can upload a picture to Facebook. You can upload a video to YouTube. You can upload a meme to Instagram, but you can't upload some receipts into an app so you can keep more of your money. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I watch y'all upload all kind of stuff on social media, and I train people every day how to make millions of dollars, and you can't keep receipts into our app so you can keep more of your money. Are you kidding me? All right, the K's are flowing today. They're starting to flow. I had to get some, I just needed y'all to give me some inspiration. Let me tell you something else I want you to do. I want you to keep investing. Keep investing. No matter what, keep investing. Now, I'm not saying, right? Don't put bad money on top of good money. Let me tell you what I mean by keep investing. Do you guys know? I'm just going to give you I'm not an advisor. I'm not allowed to give tips. I can give advice. I'm a financial educator. Do you guys know that the stock market, I'm just giving you a conservative start. Conservative. The stock market over the past 50 years has averaged 9 to 10%. Average. Now, I'm giving you some knowledge. 9K knowledge. I know y'all think it's not start with an N, but it don't. I'm just kidding. That's through the crash of '08. That's through the recession of '09. That's through all the balloon payments of 2010. That's from the recession of '81. You still would have had 9 to 10% easily return on your money. But some of you guys are going to be too busy crying and losing money. And I'm going to have to give you some Kleenex. I'm going to give you something to wipe your face with. You got so many tears. I'm going to give you some Kleenex because you're going to regret the fact that you didn't put your money in the stock market because you're going to wish you had started investing early. Broke people sell and panic when the market falls. Wealthy people buy when the market falls and they wait on it to rise. Because wealthy people know it's going to rebound. Listen, blue chips like IBM, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Nike, Visa, MasterCard, Delta, Google, Alphabet, Facebook, certain blue chips can't go anywhere. They're what's called too big to fail. The government will bail out certain companies before they let them fall. Because these companies, Home Depot, ABC, Alphabet, these companies are the backbone of our economy. So why in the world do you keep investing in other things when you should keep investing in at least a blue chip fund? The blue chips are the top 50 companies that are the foundation of our economy. Why would you not have a blue chip fund? You got Jordans, but you don't have no stock in Nike. You got the PlayStation, but you don't have no stock in Sony. The minute I discovered with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that, wait a minute, if the stock market is 9 to 10% minimum over the past 50 years, even during the ups and downs, I don't have to panic and sell when it drops. That's when I double down because it's going to rise back up. Wealthy people go, I can't wait for it to be blood in the streets. They call it blood in the streets, right? I can't wait for the market to tank a little bit so I can buy more. Broke people go, wait, let me pull my money out so I can go buy some Michael Kors. I need to give me some Michael Kors. I need to get, some designer stuff. So you keep buying Kors instead of keep investing in the company that you're supporting. Keep on. You're going to end up in a bad situation. Why don't we teach our kids, final K for the day, because I got to go. Why don't we teach our kids, nothing wrong with a Michael Kors apparel or item or purse or bag or whatever, clothes. But the key to wealth is to own stock in the companies that you also support. You got to give your kids the keys. And the key to them getting wealthy is knowledge. If you start an investment account for your kid at 18 years old and make a consistent, I know that don't start with a K, but it sounded right. If you give your kids the keys to consistent contributions and keep investing in that account, they will have $1 to $2 million minimum by the time they retire. Minimum. So no matter what, guys, keep investing. Keep investing. Kai, my son, has had an account since he was born. And I've been making contributions to that account. And it does not have to be big, guys, because they're young. You see what I'm saying? The younger you start getting them to invest, or the younger you start investing on their behalf, the more it compounds and the less money you need. So the earlier you start, the less money it takes to get rich. The earlier you start, the less money it takes to get rich. I'm telling you how the game goes. The later you start, the more money you need to get rich, which is why you gotta keep watching these ABCs. And I actually want more of you guys to accept the challenge. Accept the challenge. Whether you want to take one of the words I use every day, go all the way back to A. Take one of the words I use every day and just go live and say, hey man, I've accepted this ABC challenge. Let me start with A. Now, Brian did 20 words, but I'm just going to go with assets. You got to buy assets. B, you got to get your bills down. C, you got to start creating capital. D, go through the alphabet like I did. And I want you to accept this challenge because we got to get people off to a better understanding when it comes to wealth and money. And don't be a knucklehead. How about that for a K? And go back to the old you when the old you keeps you in the position that you're in right now because you're being hard-headed. And I don't want you to be the kind of person I want you to be the kind of person to allow your kindred spirit to bring you new kinetic energy so you can keep on investing, so we can pass the keys and this knowledge to our kids. How about that off the top of the head?